Okay, welcome to the Vent Box with Keisha Jackson, season 2. Let it out, get it off your chest. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Fed the Hell Up from these ATL streets. Good morning, Miss Jackson.
Good, but this is who?
Fed the Hell Up.
Fed the hell up. Okay. So let's talk. What you talking about?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm watching these brothers in hip hop and these cats in the church, and everybody's on Lil Nas X and this young man, and wondering what he doing and who he doing it with, and you know, everything's focused on his sexuality. And you know, I'm an old head, and I know and grew up always knowing that the ones that's complaining the most is the ones that's doing the most, and don't nobody want to talk about that. Okay. So let's back it up. Lil Nas X, you talking about people criticizing him for just basically being himself and his expression. You know,
his expression.
His coming out is, you know, gay, and now everybody got a problem with it. And you know, half these cats done a bid in jail. We know what goes on in there. You know, and I know what's going on in these streets. So you know, what's good? And
so you call yourself an old head, like So listen. First of all, I don't understand at this point why people are upset about something's happening with your phone. It's a little kind of wavy or whatever. So just kind of sit in the same place. Just kind of be still. This will be real quick. And I don't understand why people have a problem still with people's sexuality and their and who they are and them expressing who they are. Like, it's ridiculous. And I have to agree that the people who talk the most are definitely suspect.
Yeah, I mean, that's just been my experience. And I'm able to infiltrate certain spaces because, you know, how they appear to be. And I know how aggressive they can be. So when I see cats, you know, trying to get their girls in the threesome in the group situation, but then when the mention of a dude coming to the party gets they bristle up.
Yeah.
Brother, that ain't what it really be like when your girl ain't around.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna talk about human sexuality, let's talk about human sexuality. Your girl can be bi, but you can't. I mean, what's good?
Okay.
That's a lot.
This is a lot, but this is good, honey. Yeah, somebody's saying it. This is great. Let me ask you something. If it's not too much, are you a gay man?
I would consider myself sexually fluid. You know, I'm just loving. I'm female loving. It's shit. Hey.
So, and I asked this question because, you know, it just validates what you're saying, because you've obviously been in those spaces, and so you see what the real is. Somebody like myself on the outside looking in, I can only speculate, I can only go by what friends say, but for somebody who's in those spaces, then absolutely you know what the deal is. Listen, I don't understand why. I think social media has given everyone balls that they never had, never knew they could have, and everyone Twitter fingers, and everybody, you know, you've got this courage behind this computer screen, and you can say whatever the hell you want. But you know, back in the day, since you call yourself an old head, I feel like we could probably relate. Back in the day, you watched what you said because somebody was gonna pull up. Yeah. But now we only got the IP address. We don't have the real address. All that. So we can't pull up like we used to. You know what I'm saying? But people were just a little more mindful about what they say. Not necessarily their opinions, but they kept that to themselves, and they kept that amongst their small circle. So you can have your opinion, but when you are, you know, pulling people down and beating the shit out of someone from a keyboard, I think it's really whack, because you never know a person's limitations. You never know how much a person can take. You never know how a person is going to react. So, like, let's talk about these ATL streets. You from ATL?
You know,
can you share one of your personal experiences or something that you've witnessed?
Yeah, I mean, for a long time, you know, it was easy for me to mess with the married cats. You know, they came with a little bit of change. They kept life simpler. Them niggas always went home. All the cats always went home. You know? I ain't one of them people that want nobody up under me like that. Yeah. But over time, you know, they the most reckless. They the most unsafe because they sneaky. And right behind them is the cats in the church. And I just think it's sad now. You know, first, it started out amusing. It started out as collecting the bag. But now it's just kind of sad because I
never thought it was amusing. I always thought it was selfish as hell. You know, as a heterosexual Black woman, it's just, listen, I don't know how I would react.
It's heavy.
I thought if I found out that my husband was sleeping with men, like, that's a whole, like, you cannot predict how a person is going to react when they are devastated. Like, especially with something like that. Like, I love you, I trust you. We put that. Now, you have certain marriages that are arrangements, and you know what it is. And, you know, we've seen those things publicly and privately. But yeah, like, to just...
And let me be clear. I'm not saying that all or most or
of course not.
None of that. But there is a distinctive and confirmed portion of the population that's doing these things. Yeah. And to your point, you know, you start to understand and evaluate the impacts of your actions. And but underneath all that anger, you know, these men are doing this and lashing out. Their sexual urges take over, and then they start behaving recklessly, and they lose sight of the damage they're doing to the people they really do love. Exactly. Because they can't live their truth.
Exactly. You know? Really, and that's really what it's about. It's you know, it's
bondage, it's slavery.
It absolutely is, but it's sad. It's very sad when someone, I mean, if you're 20, you know, in your 20s and even in your 30s, like, you ain't figured it out yet. Like, you really fresh out the house, mom and dad. So mom and dad's view of life is pretty much yours until you start experiencing life on your own. And you realize that, like, freedom is so important. Like, I think it's sad, especially when you have someone in their 40s and 50s that just haven't come to terms with who they are enough to just be. Just be. They're so concerned about public opinion that they would rather endanger someone else's life or someone else's just emotional or mental capacity and their own out here faking the funk. You know what I mean? Like 50% of the time, like when they're at home.
You know, as a community, how do we, you know, say Black Lives Matter and we leave out the LGBTQ and the rest of those letters?
I think that we all, you know, people, not say we, because I don't do that shit, but people do find, you know, little pockets where they can kind of, let me say this, but contradict themselves. Like, we just say shit when it's convenient, but it's never fully. You know what I'm saying? It's never all lives matter. We talk about Black lives, don't talk about all lives. And I'll be honest with you, I'm guilty of people saying online, if I say Black Lives Matter, people say trans lives matter in response. Like, that's not the space for it. I'm saying, okay, trans lives matter, but I'm talking about Black right now.
But I think,
and I will include Black trans.
But I'm gonna challenge you. I think we just need to say all Black, and we good.
Exactly.
But nobody's comfortable.
But I think when it started, it was about Black men getting shot. So it was Black lives. And so when someone inserts something else, of course it's all Black. Of course it is. You know what I mean? But in that particular conversation, of course
it is for you.
Yes.
That's where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Until we as a community are collective and united with all of us, we're never going to progress forward because we're doing the same thing to our own community that's being done to us.
I will say that shit. I agree with you with that. But just let me clarify.
Yeah.
In response to Black men getting shot in the streets and police brutality against Black men, that's where Black Lives Matter came from, right?
And as a Black man, I'm glad it did.
Absolutely. So now when someone inserts Black trans lives or all Black lives, it feels like, okay, I agree. Absolutely, 100 wholeheartedly. And then so let's have the conversation about gays. Yeah. Let's have the conversation about just trans lives, gay lives, LGBT community, and how their lives matter. Like, that's a specific conversation. Like,
let's amend the language.
Let's amend the language.
When you know more, you make the adjustment.
Yes, but I'd like to hear those conversations, like specific things that are happening in the LGBTQ community, so that should be a post all by itself. Not saying that it's not inclusive, but like, let's talk about that too, to make Black people aware of, like, do you realize, because a lot of times people sit out so far outside of that and like that's not their reality, that they don't see that. So when
we only know what we're fed, to your point. But for instance,
and what we
for me, I didn't know anything about trans people. I'm not into that. I was kind of intimidated.
Yeah.
It just did.
Yeah.
But now, I've gotten to know some trans young people, and when I saw the suicide rates for our young Black trans and LGBTQ people, and then when I realized all the talent and all the energy and creativity our community was, and loyalty and passion that we're not bringing into the fight, that we're excluding from the fight, and then we wonder why we're losing the fight.
Absolutely.
Need to make it make sense for me.
Absolutely. We can't. I just feel like we all the way over here, then we all the way over there. We all the way, we don't tend not to focus on one thing. But I mean, excuse my pettiness. I want to go back to, that's a whole nother vent. So I do want you to call it back. But I want to go back to the DL brothers. I want to go back to, because Atlanta is the
I only know my own
baby.
stories. I can only speak to myself and my boy, because so I've had some situations with some pretty high profile people. And I've had a private investigator come to my house. I know what that feels like to be that person that the wife finds out. And fast forward several years, I'll never be that person again. You just don't realize the impact of your actions on others. But what I'll tell you is, don't show that your brother's out there. All you gotta do is go onto the little sites that's out there.
Listen. It's a whole community. It's a whole community.
It's women doing it too.
Oh,
but
for
that's
sure.
a whole nother show. But that's
okay.
Sure.
But why is that okay though?
Hey.
Because is it because men get off on seeing two women together, but women, excuse me, but women don't want to see that, or they? I mean, what is? I don't.
I know some women that want to. I know some women that want to see it, and want to be in it, and want to be it.
Of course, but I don't understand why there's such a difference. A man is fine with seeing girl on girl.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I'm talking about a heterosexual man, a non-gay man. It's fine with seeing two girls together.
Exactly.
But to see two men kissing on TV is a huge problem.
And let's do it. Let's revert. Let's back up a little bit. Okay. They're not fine with two girls. They are seeking that out. That is what they desire.
Yeah, right.
They're
so it's
setting
definitely
those situations up. So it's not just like they're tolerant of it.
That's right.
They are seeking it.
Right. They want to fulfill their fantasies and all that shit. Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. But if a female's fantasy, say I'm married and my fantasy is to see, listen, everybody got different fantasies. My fantasy is to see two men together. You ain't gonna give me what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how many of my female friends be like, yo, he want me to bring a woman in, but I can't bring a second man in.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because they say they don't want to be rubbing against them and doing all this. But like, listen.
And I don't want to see you with no.
This is a great conversation. And let me tell you, it goes down in ATL. I've been here since 87 and I've seen it all.
95.
I've seen it. I mean, I know I have friends and, and acquaintances and then I've stumbled on some situations, you know what I mean? Because listen, I came to Atlanta from New York and so it was just about house music. Boom, boom. And so the only place I could get the house music was in the gay club. Hell yeah. So I stand up on top of my box and I'm in all night. Child, the girls would be like, no, sis, I'm just here to dance. You know what I'm saying? So I've never been offended by it. You know what I'm saying? I understand, but and then I have like an alpha energy, a real alpha energy. So I get it. I'm not offended or nothing like that. But I've seen some situations, it goes down. It goes down.
For most definitely.
And people need to be more honest. People, it's just honestly, it's fucked up. People
goes back to them, being old school, them old historical practices of keeping secrets and not telling, not discussing the atrocities that happen. But we can't move on from that shit until we start talking about it.
Absolutely. I appreciate this call. And listen, ladies need to keep their eyes open because some of these women know better. I touched on that earlier. They know, but for whatever reason, whether it's a figure like someone that's famous and someone that people knows and they don't want to they don't want to out them, and I like the money, I like the lifestyle, I like sometimes. So I see that as an arrangement, and I see it as an arrangement even when it's not said necessarily, but you kind of your man.
And if it's between consenting adults,
and if y'all that's what you like, I love it for you. Boom. Yeah. But it's the woman who doesn't know. And it's the lives that these men are messing up. And for some reason or another, like, and I know it goes both ways, but the women, it just don't seem like the men are as devastated as the women. You got kids involved. You got, I had a baby by this man, and and he's living this other lifestyle now. How do I, and it's just something. It's just something else to deal with.
There's no shame attached, or not as much shame attached when
it's a woman.
A woman veers off and decides to leave her family and go be with another woman. It's a different situation. The whole stigmas and the church and the societal impacts roll in when it
and
comes
church is a whole nother conversation too. I feel like you need to call me back 3, 4, 5 times because I'm trying to understand.
You trying to get me killed? I start telling my church story.
Okay, I got some church stories too. Listen, I don't understand. Like, is it a haven? Because it seems like I'm going to say that because it's every
I'm going to go on the witness protection program. I start talking.
It's every church. That's a whole other conversation we talk about. Yeah. And for some reason or another, that stayed like muted for how many years? Like now it's like everybody, and there's different types of churches and, different churches created and where that welcome everyone like genuinely.
Yeah. There are inclusive churches.
There are inclusive churches, but old school church.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all go all the way back to Reverend Ike and
all that.
Let's take the old school. Yeah. But like, why was it like everybody? No.
The Hawkins, it's everybody.
Yeah, everybody knows,
and the music has always been
anything.
The music has always been tied to the community. Yes. And I know churches in Atlanta, I'm not gonna say names, that would hold protests, marches, and everything else in opposition. And it turns out the head of the church. Yeah. I see you at the party. The party nobody's supposed to know about.
I see you at the party.
The party nobody's supposed to know about.
See him at the party. Yeah, when you see him.
Not that party. Yeah. Not that party.
Not that, right. Yeah, I just don't understand. I just wish people would live free. But our society is not like that, and we already know rules for one group of people is completely different for another group of people. Yeah. And, everyone, there's so many hypocrites, and it's just like, do you live as free as you can and don't worry about what the fuck nobody else.
Yeah, my thing is, dude, don't hurt nobody, don't mess with no children.
For sure.
And other than that, do you. I want to make space for you to be your best.
For sure.
Be great. Be great, goddamn it.
For sure. I appreciate you calling me fed the hell up.
Yeah. I don't feel so fed up, Miss Jackson.
Good. Let's get it out. But I need you to call me back, baby, because you got the TT. You hear me?
Yeah. I got some TT. I appreciate your time, Queen.
Thank you so much. Talk to you later.